Hey everybody, Nick Espinoza, your chief security fanatic here, and today we have actually a really interesting topic for you. Would you replace your lawmakers with artificial intelligence? This is coming from CNBC, and I thought this was absolutely fascinating, and I thought it'd be a great way to end the week. A study has found that most Europeans would like to see some of their members of parliament replaced by algorithms. Now, here's what's going on. The researchers at IE University's Center for Governance and Change asked 2,769 people from 11 countries worldwide how they would feel about reducing the number of national parliamentarians in their country and giving those seats to an artificial intelligence that has access to their data. The results, which were published yesterday, shows that despite AI's clear and obvious limitations, 51% of Europeans said that they were in favor of that move. Oscar Johnson, academic director at the Center for Governance of Change and one of the report's main researchers, told CNBC that there's been a, quote, decades-long decline of belief in democracy as a form of governance. Now, the reasons here are likely linked to the increased political polarization, filter bubbles that we have online, and information splintering, he said. Quote, everyone's perception is that the politics is getting worse, and obviously politicians are being blamed, so I think the report captures the general zeitgeist. He added that results aren't surprising, quote, given how many people know their member of parliament, how many people have a relationship with their member of parliament, and how many people know what their member of parliament is doing. The study found the idea was particularly popular in Spain, where 66% of people surveyed supported it. Elsewhere, 59% in Italy were in favor, 56% in Estonia were. And interestingly enough, Estonia is one of those ones on the technological edge, spinning up things like artificial intelligence judges, basically to take out that backlog of their court cases. I've done videos and podcasts on that in the past. Now, not all countries like the idea of handing over the controls to the machines, which obviously could be hacked or act in ways that humans don't want them to, i.e., what happens if the AI starts voting to kill all humans? In the UK, for example, 69% of people surveyed were against the idea, 56% were against it in the Netherlands, and 54% in Germany. Outside of Europe, 75% of people surveyed in China supported the idea of replacing parliamentarians with artificial intelligence. 60% of Americans are against it. Opinions also vary dramatically by generation. Younger people obviously seem way more open to the idea. Over 60% of Europeans aged 25 to 34 were for it. 56% of those aged 34 to 44 were in support of it. And the 55 and older didn't think it was a good idea. And sometimes I swear I'm the only one on the planet that has seen the Terminator. I mean, this is I think rather interesting. Now, the one thing that I would say here, and I've spoken a lot on this, my third TED Talk involved artificial intelligence as well. I think that this is something that warrants interesting consideration when we are talking about, let's say, political issues. But the problem that we have is that artificial intelligence, as I've mentioned in that talk plus previous videos and all of that, is that we have this inherent bias that we tend to program into artificial intelligence, and depending on who is programming that AI, could potentially skew one way or the other. Or if the artificial intelligence decides to go completely off book and vote some way that no human on either the right or the left would ever think of, that's where we have some kinds of issues. So I think if we were going to do something like this, or at least get input from an AI in the voting process for a government, it's going to require a lot of effort, a lot of work, a lot of honing, and a lot of understanding that artificial intelligence has to be developed over time. I don't think this is something that we're going to see, anytime soon with this, given these limitations, given these potential inherent biases. And it's not like anybody's intentionally trying to program in biases, although there will be conspiracy theories about that, in that way. But I think if you go through some kind of code review, if you understand how this is laid out, if you do test runs of this to see what it would say or not, ideally the AI is not going to vote to murder us all to maintain order and peace. So take it for what it's worth. I'd love to know if you would replace your member of Congress here in the United States or your member of Parliament, wherever you are watching this from, if you would do that and replace it with an artificial intelligence, given everything that I just said. I think this is interesting. Right now, I'm probably part of the 60%, but who knows what will happen in the next decade or two. And please like, share, follow me here on Facebook and Twitter at NickAESP, and please feel free to subscribe to me at YouTube, all of which, hopefully their AIs will point you in my direction. And as always, stay safe and stay online. Thanks, everyone.